A very good evening to one and all present here. My name is Mehreen Shamim, and I'm the Curriculum Manager at 1M1B. Before we start the session, I would like to declare the challenge of the month for September. In this challenge, you have to record a video explaining any AI concept from the CBSE AI curriculum. Keep the video to a maximum of 5 minutes and think of it as a teaching resource. So make it as interesting as possible. We will add best videos to our AI resource hub for teachers' reference. Also, the best 5 entries will win a voucher worth rupees 700. So teachers, please come forward, record your videos, and do participate. I will share the steps for submitting your videos in the group today evening, and you can then go about creating your video and submit to us. The last date for submitting the video is 30th September. So this is the creative for the challenge. So now, let's not kind of waste time and start with our session for today. So today's session, the resource person is Ms. Smita R. Ataria, and we welcome her. Smita ma'am is one of the teachers involved in curating the CBSE AI curriculum for classes 11 and 12. She is a dedicated AI educator at DPS Rourkela with over 20 years of experience. She is recognized as a global master trainer by All India Educators Forum, is a Google certified trainer, and winner of the Digital Citizenship Educators Challenge. Smita ma'am has conducted various AI awareness programs to empower students and educators alike. A passionate advocate for AI education, Smita ma'am has co-authored books on AI and data science and is a driving force in shaping the future of AI learning in schools. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mehreen, ma'am. Am I visible to all of you? Because I'm not able to see.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yes,
okay, okay, fine. Okay, fine. Thank you so much. I'll be sharing my screen, ma'am, now.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So welcome all of you to the third series of the AI curriculum update, which has been done by 1M1B. And I'm very thankful to Mehreen ma'am and 1M1B for including me for updating the syllabus. And today I'm in front of all of you to give the highlights of the third chapter, which is Python Programming Level 1. I'm a teacher at Delhi Public School, Rourkela, Odisha. And the objectives of the session that I'm going to cover today will be, first, let us understand the syllabus which has been laid out by CBSE for class 11. And we shall be covering the concepts of Python of class 11, that is level 1, as it has been mentioned in the session objectives. And what are the various challenges the teachers as well as the students face during this coding process? Because there are many myths and there are many questions, many queries, and many doubts among the teachers and students, which we have to overcome. And let us have a question and answer session. In between, if anybody has got any doubts or clarification, you can always stop me. And I am a teacher just like you. I have just started with my AI curriculum for the past 2-3 years. I have been interested learner, and I would like to learn from all of you too if you have anything to share. So let us have a healthy discussion and let us understand the objectives of this chapter. So now, before we proceed further, so I just want all of you to just take a poll. You have to join Mentimeter. I'll be sharing the Mentimeter screen. So let me just open that part so that all of you can join Mentimeter now and share the. Yes. So please go to menti.com and join this particular Menti class and just give me a poll. I just want to know how many of you are computer science teachers. The teachers, those who have joined here, kindly go to menti.com and use the code 16302296 and just give me an information. I just want to know how many of you are computer science teachers. So which will help me to proceed with the class. Quickly take out your mobiles. Okay, out of around 55 teachers, only 2 teachers have responded. So others 3. Okay, till now only 3 teachers have responded. Quickly, teachers, let us not waste our time in this poll and everything. Quickly go to menti.com and join this particular class by writing 16302296 and submit your
Excuse me,
answer. So
ma'am.
that, yes,
Can you
ma'am.
send me the code?
The code is 16302296, ma'am. Menti code.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. 16302296. Yeah, now many are replying. We are getting a good idea. Yeah. So as the poll is visible on the screen, we are seeing that I've got around 20 teachers responding now, where maximum of them are computer science teachers. I am also a computer science teacher. So we have just migrated from computer science to AI. So we are all in the same group now. Okay, there are 5 teachers who are not computer science teachers. That is also good. You have taken a very good initiative of starting up this subject in your school. That's very positive side. Okay, now around 21 and 26, 21, 27 teachers have responded. Okay, I've got a fair idea now. I'll just stop this Menti thing. I've got an overall idea of what the level of teachers are. So that helped me to know, like most of you are from computer science background, and it will be easy for me to present my ideas. And also don't worry for teachers who are not computer science teachers but are enthusiastic to know more about how to introduce AI curriculum and especially Python programming in class 11. Now, before we start with the hands-on, let us quickly go through the syllabus outlook. Okay, so we'll go to the syllabus outlook, and according to the learning outcomes, the students of class 11, they should just know the basics of Python programming, the character set, the tokens, the modes, the operators, data types, and these are the basic things in level 1. And in level 1, only 5 programs to be taught using operators, data types, and control statements. And level 2 will be handled in the next session on September 27. That is again one of the series of 1M, 1B, which we are going to conduct. Now, the main summary of this particular chapter says that students will get acquainted with the programming concept. So now, in this particular scenario, we might have 2 types of students in the class. One, those who have already taken AI in class 9 and 10. And those students who have come for the first time to take AI in class 11 and 12. So those who have already studied AI in 9 and 10, for them, it is going to be extremely easy because they would have already covered level 1 in class 9 and 10. And for them, directly we can jump to level 2 and we can introduce those concepts. But you should always keep in mind the basics are very, very important. So before you start off with the class, go for some basic revision classes so that it will be helpful for them to revise whatever they have finished or whatever they have done in class 9 and 10. Because teachers may change. In some schools, a few set of teachers will be teaching 9 and 10. A new teacher will be taken up in 11 and 12. So my advice would be, if the children have already completed 9 and 10 AI, so go for some revision classes and then you can jump to level 2. So in level 1, the basics are there, as I have already told you, the tokens, the modes, operators, and data types, till control statements. Once we come to CSV and library like the NumPy and Pandas and scikit-learn, that will be taken as level 2. Now, what is there in level 1? The same steps. I'm directly going to jump over here. Level 2, we are going to cover all these things. So let us come to the first part now. What is the overview of Python programming language and why it has come inside the curriculum of AI? Now, Python, as we all know, is a high-level, general-purpose interpreted, object-oriented programming language. Now, before Python, as you all know, CS teachers, we had C, and after that we had C++ in our curriculum. But once Python came, this was the need of the industry, which was very much required for all the people who would like to take CS or machine learning or AI or data science in their professional courses, maybe in their undergraduate courses or post-graduation courses. Since it was a very good language to be introduced for AI, that's why this part or this subject came into the curriculum of AI. And also one more important thing, those who already know C and C++ and we have migrated to Python, we know that Python is comparatively very easy to learn and it is efficient and it can run on many different platforms. And it is also free. We can easily download it and it integrates very well with other systems. So first most important thing that all of you should understand or should take this particular matter to the classes, it is one of the easiest languages compared to C and C++ and Java, of course. So that is why this particular language has been taken and it can be introduced in the classes. And it can be used for web applications, software development, data science, as well as machine learning. So its scope is very, very high. So it has been introduced. Now, what are the different Python execution environments or interfaces where all we can try out this particular program? Now, we have four different interfaces or environment. The first one is called as IDLE or Integrated Development Learning Environment. I will quickly take you to the next slide where you can see this is the IDLE interface. Now, how did I get this one? You have to go to Google and you have to download Python IDLE. The steps are very simple. You can, if you are having any doubt, you can just go to YouTube and you can see how to download IDLE. This is the first basic interface which any student can be introduced to. Now, this IDLE interface can be handled using two modes. One is the interactive mode, the other one is the script mode. So those students who have already done 9 and 10 AI, they would be familiar with this environment because normally in class 9, in most of the schools, they work with IDLE environment. And then in class 10 and 11 and 12, they'll be shifting to the Jupyter Notebook. So the screen that you're seeing over here with the three arrows, that is called as the Python prompt. It is called as the Python prompt, wherein the commands will be typed and you can see how exactly the commands are working. So now I will shift over to the next slide where you can see how a Jupyter Notebook looks like. Now this is the screen of a Jupyter Notebook wherein we have boxes. I'll be shifting my screen to Jupyter Notebook also where I'll show you how to write the command and how to execute it. This is the basic screen of that. So my advice would be if you're teaching 11 and 12, instead of starting with the IDLE environment, you better start with the Jupyter Notebook because Jupyter Notebook. Okay.
Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Mute.
Okay, sorry, I did not know that you had muted me.
No problem.
Anyways, yeah, so this is a very handy notebook because most of the libraries are inbuilt over here. So that is the advantage. So my advice would be you shift over from IDLE interface from class 9 and you can come to class 10, 11 and 12 and use a Jupyter Notebook. Now this Jupyter Notebook is embedded inside the Anaconda software. Okay, Anaconda is a big software or it's a big application interface wherein these kind of Python environments are embedded and this Jupyter Notebook is one of the most handiest one. But the other interface which other school teachers normally use without any installation or something, the easiest one is your Google Colab. This one is a interface which has been developed by Google and no need to download. You can just directly go to your Google search engine and if you type Google Colab, this is the screen that you're going to get wherein you're going to type Grishma ma'am, kindly mute yourself. Grishma ma'am, kindly mute. Okay, thank you. So this is the interface that we are going to get. Most of the schools where Anaconda cannot be installed, most of the school teachers, they would like to use this platform also. Again, it's up to the teacher, whichever platform, if they are comfortable, they can use it. And the other platform, suppose quickly you want to show some commands to the children during your session. If you have a smart class, if you have a smart panel or a smart interactive screen, then you can quickly go to a Python online compiler and you can type the commands and quickly show the output. Because as you know, Python is a practical based subject, not a theory one. It's a practical based subject wherein children should know how to type the commands and how to get the output. No need to remember any commands. They just have to type the commands, looking at the handbook and try to figure out what output the compiler gives. So these are the four environments. There are many online Python compilers. I have taken only one, that is Programmist. If you just go to Google search engine, you can type that and you can see how many other compilers come. So my advice for the interface would be to use Jupyter Notebook according to the easiness of using the language. Now let's get started with Python. Now, as every English language or Hindi language or Punjabi language, any language, we have a set of characters. A to Z is there. We have 26 alphabets. Similarly, Python is a computer language. So it should also have a character set. And the character set that are available for us is alphabets from capital A to Z and lowercase a to Z. Now, why they are considered two different entities? Because the ASCII characters of the uppercase letters and the lowercase letters for a computer is different, because computers cannot understand the difference between uppercase and lowercase letters. Just to differentiate the character coding which has been done internally, for it to get converted into the binary codes, they have given as a different set. Then we can use digits from 0 to 9. All the special symbols which you can see on the screen, many more are there. And you can use the white space, the space bar, and escape sequences, just /n, /t, /b. These escape sequences are used for giving a new line or maybe a tag character while working with a program. So this is the character set which you can use. Coming to the next concept. Now, what are tokens? So before I'm making you understand the concept of tokens, I think all of you are familiar with English language, and every time whenever we speak an English language, we frame a sentence. And every sentence is a combination of the different parts of a speech. The different parts of the speech are which one? We have noun, we have pronoun, we have adjectives, we have verb, we have adverb, conjunctions, interjections, so many things are there. Suppose I use a sentence, Ram is playing guitar. So here Ram is the noun, playing is the verb. So like this, the parts of the speech goes on. So similarly, whenever you write any Python command, you are supposed to use parts of the speech, but here we are not using the word parts of the speech, but we are using the term tokens. So tokens are the smallest units of a program statement and are made up of one or more characters that have meaning together. So if I combine all the noun word or the pronoun word or the adjective or the verb, then only a meaningful statement is done. Similarly, in Python also, for the compiler or the interpreter to understand, Python compiler should understand what you're writing. You have to write the statement in such a way that it forms a meaningful sentence. And combining all these things, those parts of the speech or those small units of the statement, they are called as tokens. So if you see a Python statement, every Python statement comprises of tokens. So how many such tokens are there? We have 5 tokens. One is keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, and punctuators. So what are these things? Let us go quickly to the next slide and try to understand this one. Now, what are keywords? Now, keywords are the words which have been made for some special purpose. Every keyword has got certain purpose to do or got certain work to be done. And those words are said to be keywords. And that is why they're called as reserved words. Python is already written in a way that whenever this particular command or this particular statement is written, it immediately interprets that, okay, if this is the statement, it has to be done like this. So that is why they are called as keywords and they are being used for a special purpose. The next identifier is called as the next keyword token is called as an identifier. So what are identifiers? To make you understand in a simple way, we all have got names. My name is Smita, your name is somebody, something else. So each individual has got a name. Similarly, Python variables also should be identified by a name. And that name is called as an identifier. Giving names for storage locations in Python is called as an identifier. So before we give the names for the variables, then we have to follow certain rules and regulations. even during when names are given to human beings also, certain things are kept in mind. Normally, we see the horoscope, or normally we follow some pattern in the house. So we follow certain rules and regulations while giving names for human beings also. Now, similarly, if you want to give names for these variables, the rules that you have to follow is it can be a combination of letters, either in uppercase or lowercase, or it can be combination having digits, and only special character that is allowed is underscore. Now, an identifier cannot start with a digit. You cannot start a name with a number. And keywords, which I told you in the beginning, that is the previous slide, they cannot be used as identifiers because keywords have been designed to carry out some work, or they have been designed to do some special job. And we cannot use any other special symbol as it is mentioned over here. So the next token that I'm going to stress upon is called as literal. Any constant value in Python is called as a literal. And for example, if I use a string literal, that is combination of alphabets, then I call, and you can see it has been written within double quotes. So anything which is written within double quotes and the value is fixed, that particular value is called as a literal. We have numeric literals, we have Boolean literals, and we have a special literal by the name null. The next token that I'm going to discuss is called as operators and punctuators. Now, what are operators? Operators are symbols or keywords that perform operations or operands to produce a result. Suppose in mathematics also we use the term operator and operand. वहाँ पे we can use the term as variables or terms or labels, something like that. So whenever we want to do any kind of calculation in Python programming, we can use this arithmetic operators. And whenever we want to check the relationship between one variable with the other variable, or one value with the other value, then we can go for relational operators. And next one is your assignment operator. So now quickly from here, I'll be jumping over to my Anaconda, that is Jupyter Notebook, where I'll be showing you whatever we have learned now, some of the things. And one more thing before that, we have something called as data types in Python. If I store any value in a variable, it is identifying the type of data that I have stored. So it may be integer, it may be Boolean, it may be floating point, it may be a string, or it may be a list, or anything like that. So what is its data type and how it can be used? So immediately I'll be shifting over there. So let me take you to the Jupyter Notebook that I've already prepared. So here, as you can see, first example that I've quoted over here is how do you give comments in a Jupyter Notebook. As you can see, this is the screen of Jupyter Notebook. Here, the names can be given. As you can see, I've given the name as this one. I can change it anytime I want. And wherever it is written as in, that is a place where I type the command. Now, once the command is typed, you can execute it by pressing Shift and Enter key, or you can click on the Run button which is there on the screen. So now, what is the use of a comment in a Jupyter Notebook? So whenever you want to give any kind of remark to whatever code that you have written, then you can use a comment. And comment normally starts with a hashtag over here. So here I have used the hashtag usage of variables and data types. If I run this particular code, no output will be displayed. Nothing is coming on the screen because comments are normally ignored by the Jupyter Notebook or by any compiler of Python. Now, to run any command in Python, we have to press Shift and Enter key. And as I told you, tokens keywords are there, identifiers are there, examples of valid identifiers. As you can see over here, when I discussed in the slide, identifiers are names for some values, and names should follow certain naming rules. Now here, yes, these are the valid identifiers because it is starting with alphabets. This one is again a valid identifier. This is again is valid one. This is again is valid one because it said that it can start with an underscore. So if I run this particular code by pressing Shift and Enter key, I'm not getting any error over here. But if I give an example of an invalid identifier, let me just change this one. Instead of giving NAME as one word, let me introduce a space over here. And I press Shift and Enter key, immediately you'll see that you got an error on the screen. It is telling that it's an invalid syntax. Immediately you'll come to know that the variable identifier that I've given is a wrong one. Spaces are not allowed. So let me just change it, bring it back to the normal one, and I press Shift and Enter key. Now the error has totally vanished. Now, the next command that we are going to try out is the print command. If I want to show anything on the screen as an output, because basically whenever we use a programming language, there will be some kind of input and some kind of output. So input statement will come later in the presentation, but print I have given over here just to show you how the output will be shown on the screen. Now, for giving the print statement, what you have to follow, you have to write the command print in the parenthesis. You have to give the statement, or you have to give the information that you want to print on the screen. Suppose I want to print, I am enjoying this session. I have given like this, and I press shift and enter keys. Just look at the screen now. I've got the output. I'm enjoying the session. Plus hello world and a number. So if you can see over here, the number is not given within quotes, because I want to print the number as it is. If I give it within the quotes also, no error is going to come, because that one will be taken as a string data. Output is going to be same, but then I cannot do any addition over there. So this is how we use the print statement. Now again, one more invalid identifier I have given over here. Now, if I try to run this particular one, so I'll give 9 AGE and I press shift and enter key. So immediately I'm getting what output? I'm getting the output as invalid syntax. By the reason because this is an example of an invalid identifier, because the name of the identifier is starting with a digit. Let me remove this 9 and I press shift and enter key. The error has automatically gone. Now again, this is an example of an invalid identifier by using hyphen. So I'll give name NA and I put a hyphen over here and I try to execute it, this one. See, again I got which one? Cannot assign to operator. That means hyphen cannot be used as a in between operator or in between punctuator between the identifier. If I just change the hyphen to an underscore, I think all of you know how to use an underscore by pressing shift and hyphen key. Now, if I try to run the code, I'm not getting any error. So if I want to print what is the value of this particular identifier, I can type NA underscore ME. Now, if I press enter, the output of the variable Priya is coming over here. Now, the operators, as I told you. So operators are there to perform certain arithmetic operations. Now, different operators are there, as you can see on the screen. We have the plus operator to do the addition. We have the minus operator to do the subtraction. We have the asterisk operator to do the multiplication. And we have the forward slash operator to do the division. Now, what's the use of these two operators? I've written double slash and double star. I'll tell you one by one now. So as you can see on the screen, I'll remove these particular codes now. I'll just remove this one. First, I'll show you the output of this one. Now, as you can see over here, 5 plus 10, it is giving me 15. 4 minus 3, it is giving me 1. 5 into 6, it is giving me 30. And 10 divided by 3, I'm getting a floating point number or a decimal number with the value 3.33. So, in some cases, I do not want the Python program to show me the decimal points. Then I have to use this operator, 2 forward slashes. That is called as floor division operator. So I can give print. I'll use the same division, 10, 2 forward slashes by 3. Now I press enter key. Now look at the output here. 5 plus 10 is 15. 4 minus 3 is 1. 5 into 6 is 30. 10 divided by 3, I had got 3.33. But when I use the floor division operator, 10 floor division 3, I am getting only the integer part of the division. It does not do any rounding off. It just removes the decimal points and shows me the output. If you want me to show, let me try with another number. 20 divided by 3, you can see over here. Let me run this code. Just see now. 20 divided by 3, I got 6 and 7. But 20 floor division 3 will get me only 6. Only the decimal point will be ignored and only the integer part will be shown. So this operator is called as the floor division operator. Let me write it just over here. It is called as the floor division operator. The next one, which is your double star, is called as your exponentiation operator. So if I write like this, suppose I want to do an operation where 2 cube or 10 cube, something like that. Then I will be writing the command like this, 10. Let me use 2 only. 2 double star followed by 3. Then I'll press the enter key. Just see the output in the last case. I'm getting the output as 10. That is equivalent to 2 to the power of 3. That's why I've got the output as n. So like this, slowly and steadily introduce all the operators to the students. Let them try it hands-on and then understand how each and every command works in the Python compiler. Next, we have to discuss about the relational operators. Now, what's the use of relational operator? It is used to check the relation of one variable with the other variable. So now I have given certain commands over here and I've given certain numbers over here. Based on the numbers that I've given, I will get the output either as true or I'm going to get the output as false. So now in the first case, I'm going to run it and show it to you in front of the screen. So now I have written 56 greater than 45. So the result of relational operation always comes as a Boolean result. Boolean result means either true or false. And if you observe carefully, the T part is capital and the F part is capital. That is how the Boolean variables are displayed. So since the number 56 is greater than 45, I'm getting the result as true. Similarly, 90 less than 34, I'm getting the result as false. Double equals to stands for equality operator, checking whether the LHS is equal to the RHS or not. That is how the checking will be done. Similarly, if I give 76 double equals to 90, I'm getting the result as false. Now, greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to, and not equal to. So here, 4 not equal to 8, I'm getting the value as true because obviously 4 is not equal to 8. And 4 not equal to 4, I'm getting the result as false because it is equal to 4. So this is how I can try the relational operators in my Python code. Now, the next comes is your logical operator. Now, what is the use of logical operators in Python programming? If you have two conditions to be checked, in that case, I can use the logical operator to combine one condition with the other condition. Now, there are three logical operators: and, or, and not. Now, the AND operator will give me the Boolean result as true only when both the results are true. That is the left-hand side result as well as the right-hand side result. If it is true, then only I'm going to get the output as true. Otherwise, I'll get the output as false. Now, look at the first condition that I have given. Firstly, is 3 greater than 5? Obviously, it is false. Look at the other one. Is 3 greater than true? That is true. But are both the relations true? It is not so. One is false and the other one is true. So I'm getting the output as false over here. Similarly, let us try one more example with the OR operator. With the AND operator. Let me give you an example. Print, let me give this condition. 40 greater than 10. And I'll combine this with the other condition. 10 greater than 2. Let me run this particular code and show it to you. Look at this result of the second operation that I've done. I've got the result as true. What is the reason? As I told you, in both the left-hand side and the right-hand side conditions that I've given, it has given me true value. 40 is greater than 10, obviously, and 10 is obviously greater than 2. So I'm getting the result as true. So OR means what? As you can guess over here, if either one of the condition is true, it is going to show me the result as true. There may be certain conditions or there may be certain situations where you want to portray this kind of programming. Let me give you an example now. Suppose a student has passed in English or the student has passed in maybe science. Then you can give him a A grade or B grade like that. In those kind of situations, then you can use the OR logical operator. Look at the condition now. Is 45 greater than 34? Yes, it is true. Look at this condition. Is 34 equivalent to 78? No, the answer is false. But one of the condition is true, so I'm getting the result as true over here. Not operator obviously reverses the true part to false part to true part. Now I've given print true. Not of true will get me what? It is going to get me false over there. That is why the output has come to false. Next type of operator that we are going to discuss is called as the assignment operator, which is the equal to sign. This equal to sign, do not get confused with the equal to sign of mathematics. In mathematics, equal to sign means we are checking whether LHS is equal to RHS or not. But here, the equal to sign is called as the assignment operator. Now, what is the use of assignment operator? Now, imagine that X is a box, okay? Inside X, I want to put something inside it. That is, I want to store some value inside X. In that particular situation, I have to use the equivalent, that is the assignment operator. Now, whatever is there in the right hand side, that will get stored in the box or X variable that I have given. So in this case, the number 10 that I have taken will get stored in the memory location X. So always the assignment takes place from right hand side to left hand side in all the programming languages. If you have done C, C++, Basic, or even Java, and even in Python, everywhere the assignment, the values will get stored from the right hand side to the left hand side. So here the number 10 is getting stored in the variable X, and I'm printing the value by using the print statement. Now, coming to the shorthand assignment operator. Now, what's the use of this one? The shorthand assignment operator was initially not in C language. Those teachers who have already learned C language will remember that we did not have the shorthand operator. But slowly, it came in C++. That's why it was called as C++. And now, it is a common thing in all the new programming languages. They have introduced the shorthand assignment operator. When to use it and how to use it? Suppose you have a statement called as x is equal to x plus 20. Now I'm writing the same variable x in the right hand side and in the left hand side also, because I want to add 20 to the existing number of x. Now presently x is what? X is 10. I want to add 20 to the existing 10. In that case, I have to write the operator in the right hand side as well as left hand side. So if the same operator, not operator, operand is coming in the left hand side, in the right hand side, then you can use a shorthand operator, assignment operator. So instead of writing x is equal to x plus 20, you can write it as x plus equal to 20. So internally, Python is going to make it understand that both the operators are same. So as I can show you one more example, let me give you over here. I'll write y is equal to y plus, let me store the value first. Y is equal to 30. Now I'll write y is equal to y plus 10. Now what is going to happen in this situation? Y will have the value 30. I'm adding 10 to that. Y would become 40. Now instead of writing this one, I can use a shorthand operator. I can write y plus equal to 10. So both the statements are the same thing. Now the shorthand assignment operator can be used for all the arithmetic operators, whether it is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division, as well as exponentiation operator. So in this way, I can use the shorthand assignment operators. So next one, we have the concept of literals. As I have showed over here in the presentation, I have stored the number 10 in Y, I've stored the number 5 in Z. So these two are the examples of literals. Literals are nothing but constants. Now coming to the data types, there are many different data types in Python. We have string data type, we have integer data type, we have floating point data type, and we have Boolean data type, we have list data type. Let us try to understand one by one. Anything, any value which is enclosed within double quotes is considered as a string data type. Instead of double quotes, you can give single quotes also. You can store the name as like this also. You can store within single quotation marks also. Anything which does not have any decimal places can be called as an integer data type, whereas percentage comes under floating data type. And fee status is a variable whose value is a Boolean data type. So these are the standard ones. Now, what is more special about this other data type, which is enclosed within square brackets? This is called as a list data type. Any values, any set of values which are enclosed within square brackets and separated by comma, then it can be called as a string, then it can be called as a list data type. So here we have an example of a string list. Here we have an example of a numeric list. And here we have an example of a mixture of a list of values. Here I have got a string, I've got an integer, I've got a floating point number, and I've got a Boolean result also. The next type of data type is called as a tuple. So tuple is a data type where all the sequence of numbers or characters are enclosed within parentheses. In the list, it was square brackets, and now it is going to be parentheses. So here, the values are enclosed within square brackets. Now, this is the tuple data type. Now, what is the difference between a list data type and a tuple data type? As I've written over here, list is a mutable data type, tuple is an immutable data type. So what is the meaning of mutable? Mutable means any value can be changed after I store anything inside the list. Let me show an example so that you can understand it better. Tuple is immutable means what? I cannot change any value inside it. Suppose I run this particular code for you so that you can see the output. Let me just print the values and show it to you. So let me print the value of the list food. I'll just show you now. Food is having what? It is having three values, roti, dal and rice. Now, after this, I will write food of 0 is equal to, instead of rice, I'll write paneer. Okay. So now, let me just run this one and show it to you. And print food once again. See here, initially it was roti, dal and rice, but now since I've changed the value of food of 0, now you might be wondering what is this food of 0? So every value inside the list is addressed by a number, internal number that is called as an index number. For the first value, the index number is taken as 0. For the second value, the index number is taken as 1. And for the third value, the index number is taken as 2 and so on, depending on the number of values we give inside the list. So since I have written food of 0 is equal to paneer, the value roti has gone and the value paneer has come. So this shows that the list data type is mutable. That means I can change any value to that. But let me show you with a tuple. Now let me print the tuple that I have created over here. The name of the tuple that I have given is T. Let me print its values. It is 10, 20, 30 and 40. Now let me write T of 0 is equal to, maybe I'll change it to 100 and show it to you. So now it is not showing me anything. For the third one, see, tuple object does not support item assignment. Okay. So just a minute, ma'am. I'm getting a call. Okay, so now I've got instructions to move forward with my presentation because most of the teachers know. So let me take you to the next slide where all these data types I have covered input and print statement. And this is an understanding of a simple input and a typecasting is done where the data type of one variable is changed with the other variable. Float data type, we have int function, float function, all these things are there. Now the control statements are there in Python to execute the statements either in sequential way or selection way or iteration way. So here sequential means what? The statements are executed one after the other. In conditional statements, the conditions are given depending on the condition whether it is true or false. The statements are branched out, and in the iteration, the set of statements will be executed in a loop one after the other till the condition is satisfied. So here is an example of if statement with an if else and if ladder statement. And here is an example of an iteration with the for loop where a range function is given. Now coming to the next important concept which I have to cover today is what are the challenges which we teachers are facing. First of all, breathe easy, take it easy, computer science teachers. AI is not computer science. Please don't get carried away that yes, I know you have a lot of liking for the subject, but let us not get confused with CS and AI, and let us not confuse the students also that it is going to be challenging for them. Now, first of all, coding is not science. Now, many schools have introduced AI for all the three streams, for science students, commerce students, and humanities students. And please bring to the mind of the teachers and students that coding does not mean science. Many children have this notion, so remove that particular thing from their mind. Science has nothing to do with coding because coding requires only practice, logical thinking, problem solving skills, and lot of patience. Now, how to tackle this particular problem? Many teachers are having doubts that how to cover this portion of Python programming class 11. They are all overwhelmed seeing the syllabus. Don't worry, teachers. Lesson plan making is in our hands. So what we can do, the Python chapter and wherever coding is there, distribute the classes throughout the year. Divide your class schedule in such a way that every week you might be having 5 or 6 classes, at least 2 days in a week. Dedicate those periods only for programming, rest of the periods for your theory chapters. If you do like this throughout the year, if you complete the coding part, Then whether it is a humanities student or whether it is a commerce student or science students, they will love to do coding and they will love to learn any language later on also. So if you take it as one chapter at a time, okay, according to lesson plan, I have to finish within 18 days or within 1 month, then the objective of the coding is not going to be achieved. So please be very careful. Divide your class entire year in such a way that the coding is learned in a continuous process. And coding is for all. No stream barrier should be created by the teachers. It is in our hands to make it easy for the students. Don't say that hey, science only students can do coding. It is not for commerce and humanities. Please don't tell that. Constantly reinforce that coding is easy and interesting. If you take the topic slowly, then I am sure that all your students will enjoy this particular subject and they're going to take coding in their future professional courses also. So why there is lack of clarity among students and teachers? Because most of you have not gone through this. Look at the syllabus. If you look at the handbook in detail, every small bits have been covered. So please follow it diligently and then do not panic and don't try to introduce the computer Sumita Arora book to your classroom. Do first only the simple programs which have been given in the book and then try to introduce it slowly. If the child is interested, then you can give 2-3 more programs. Basic programs, whatever is there in the handbook, can be immediately taken to the practical workbook and they can write it or they can take a printout and stick it in their practical notebook also. Now, this coding, according to the CBSE mandate, according to the skill curriculum, according to AICTE requirements, and according to NEP, coding has only been introduced for the students to get acquainted with the coding skills. We do not want to make them great coders in class 11 and 12 only. It's a long journey for them. Let them enjoy this coding. Let them go for undergraduate and post-graduation courses. If they like, let them do it. So let us just acquaint them with the subject so that they will enjoy this one. So other not give Python course in the theory paper. Don't try to make it tough for the students. Let it be a practical subject. Let them enjoy typing the code and see the output, whatever screenshot there. Let them take the printout and stick it in their practical notebook. Or if a school does not have that facility, they can just write the programs and write the outputs also. Let the students explore it practically throughout the year. And I think no teacher is going to face any problem and no stream barrier will be there. So there is an important skill. AI, the coding is a very important skill that any field, arts or humanities or commerce, students can become more versatile at work by mixing the skills with AI knowledge. Now, there's an interesting article that I found out that art students are learning data science. This is a very interesting site. This will help you to guide your students to know more about why the data science is being or AI is being introduced for art student also. So this is a very interesting article. I will share this particular link with Mehreen ma'am. She will share it later in the group. Learn the foundations of data science, how to develop the skills with data, and there is no barrier. Explore different areas of interest of data science. And conclusion. This is a very interesting article which will help you to know more about this particular AI part. Next, moving to the next slide. Then, as you know, or you might not know that now CA course have got subjects like data science and AI in their CA curriculum. So ICAI has introduced this AI and data science in this curriculum, and this is a newspaper clipping that I've taken where they are stressing that coding and AI and data science can be given to commerce students also. And if you go to their website, ICAI website, you can see that this particular curriculum has been introduced. So as you can know, the website says that knowledge of AI is must with increasing digitization of business transactions. And whatever curriculum the CBS has made, it is according to industry friendly. And we want the children to slowly progress from the class 11, 12 to the undergraduate course and to the post-graduation course so that it will get benefited for them and some extra edge they're going to have when they present themselves in the job market. Now, all of you should know that computer science course can also be pursued by art students. And I can take out this example. One of our student who had taken mathematics in arts, that is humanities stream, has gone to IIIT Hyderabad to do this particular course. So it is one of the highlights of this particular college that humanities students can also pursue BTech in computer science. So if they know AI, if they know data science concepts, if they know machine learning algorithms, they can easily take up this particular course. And one important thing that they should have is they should have mathematics in their humanities subject also. So that is the only criteria. Schools which are offering mathematics for humanities children, they can easily tell the children to do coding, or they can do AI or data science in the school, and then they can pursue BTech after class 12 also. Now, next most important thing is in our curriculum, we have introduced IBM Skills Build, and the links of Python programming has been given. And these are certified courses. Please use this link and encourage this to your students also. Let them learn the Python throughout the year, and then they can get certified also. Then the burden of coding or something like that will not be there. And one more important thing is, do not try to impose Python coding for any capstone project. Let them do no code or low code. Let them just introduce a concept, how AI can help in doing some day-to-day or solving day-to-day problems, align it to SDGs. Do not force the children to do coding. Coding is there only to get acquainted with the programming skills for the students as per the CBSE norms and this one. So finally, I would like to quote that coding teaches children to experiment and gives them the confidence to use the technology to be creative and solve problems. Now, if there are any questions from any teacher about the experiences or about any challenges if they're facing, the forum is open. You can discuss now.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Najma.
Yes, ma'am.
You said about Jupyter Notebook, right? Does it require
ma'am.
an active internet, or can it be worked offline?
Offline also you can work, ma'am. Internet is not required. Only for Google Colab you require internet. Some schools have this facility to for the children to go to the lab and directly work. That time they have to use Google Colab. Otherwise, you can go for Jupyter Notebook.
Okay, ma'am. Because we have internet, we have a separate lab for the senior students, but the
Okay.
internet is not stable in our school.
So sometimes even we are facing, ma'am, in our school also. So what we can do is we can give those codes for the children whenever internet is stable. That time only one computer, if your projector is having that kind of facility, will show them. Tell them to do those codes at home whenever they have internet facility at their home, ma'am. That can be done.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Any other doubts? Any teacher?
Good evening. I'm Srinidhi from DPS Bangalore East.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
I had posed this query in Meenu ma'am's group chat. I think I was very upset because not because the subject has brought in new enhancements, but because we prefer to opt the subject for 50-50, whereby the child's stress level is down.
Yes, ma'am.
10 marks of employability skills and 40 marks
40
of the
marks of-
subject
Yes,
was very easily scorable for every child. If you have
Yes, ma'am.
seen the scenario of this year's, maximum students who had opted for AI had scored centums.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not saying that only CS students or only any stream students cannot do it. Every student who is interested, definitely, whether he is in the
Yes.
stream or not in the stream, will do it. But
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
we are
Now also don't
pressurized.
worry, ma'am. This year also, whatever syllabus the CBSE has done, make sure that the children get acquainted with the programming skills. Do not give programming the theory paper, ma'am. Let them do it in the practical, and practical assessment is already there. Na? Give simple programs. Don't try to harass the students by giving more complex. It's in our hands, right? It is in our hands, and I assure you that
No, the
CBSE is
CBSE
not. Let
syllabus
me
is
finish, ma'am.
not,
Let me
no,
just
see,
finish.
I'll tell you.
Srinidhi,
No,
ma'am.
let
Srinidhi,
me
ma'am, let me
finish.
just
No,
finish.
let me finish.
No,
See,
you
the
are not
CBSE
allowing me to
syllabus
speak. Let
is
me finish.
having your CS. You have spoken about the first part of your level 1,
Yes,
which
ma'am.
talks about what? Only character sets, and then you said tokens, and then you
Yes, ma'am.
started with
Yes, ma'am.
loops.
Yes.
Are
Yes.
till loops we teach till CS. Then we have functions and the other things with
Yes.
the list and tuple and dictionary, which is taught, and we finish CS. It's
Yes.
like Sumita Arora you're covering up right now.
Yes.
Then you are bringing in NumPy, Pandas, then this that other one is also there. All the three
Scikit-learn
are
is there,
part
ma'am.
of all
Level
part of
2.
your IP. Now you
Yes.
tell me what else you want. Except this, all these
No, why
you're
are you,
having.
no, ma'am,
Plus,
just a minute. Why are you telling it is CS and IP? It is just AI. And you go through the curriculum, do only what is required. Don't bring IP textbook to your classroom. Why are you bringing it, ma'am? Don't bring IP textbook to your
so
classroom.
if you want to teach how to write a data frame, you have to bring what is a data frame, how you have to structure
Data frame
it.
has been already given in the curriculum, ma'am. You can just go through that. Don't try to bring complicated. It is in our hands, ma'am. If you want to bring complicated things to your classroom, so making it intentionally
There are
complicated.
algorithms like KNN algorithms which have been added.
Teach only the
Scikit-
algorithm concepts. Don't let them not learn the algorithms. Learning of algorithms is not a compulsion by CBSE, ma'am. Nowhere it is written that KNN algorithm or any machine learning algorithm children should learn. They should only get acquainted with the algorithm. Okay, so that is the main thing. Don't read in between the lines and don't get complicated. Don't get worried. Don't panic, ma'am. You are only panicking. So don't panic. So don't try to
See,
bring
this
the
is
IP
see for
curriculum
me.
and
See for
CS
me,
curriculum.
I'm
See,
also
ma'am.
teaching. No, see.
Yeah.
Smita, right? What's your name? I forgot.
I'm Smita. You can call me
Smita,
Smita.
if
Yes.
I tell you, I've been a CS teacher for last 20 years. I don't
Even
have to
same here.
panic for any
Same here.
reason. I'm
Yeah.
seeing my students are not passing in AI. It's a
Why they are not
worry.
passing? You are not preparing the question paper, which is student friendly, I think, ma'am. That is the reason.
No,
My
that
children are
means
passing.
the people who are structuring the syllabus are not understanding the stress level of the students whom you are informing. Now
The
we
stress
don't know.
level comes. Let me clear you, ma'am. I'll go to
You're
other
not
teacher
ready to
because we have
listen.
other teachers waiting for the questions. Let me tell you, ma'am, the stress level is created by the teacher, not by the students. Okay. So it is in our hands to make it easy. So please try to focus on that. Don't try to bring the CS textbook, Sumita Arora, or the IP textbook, this one, to your classroom. Yes,
Okay,
Shilpa, ma'am. Shilpa, ma'am, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. Please tell.
Smita ma'am, first of all, very thanks for introducing these things.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I was waiting for such kind of session. Now, my first concern is
Yes.
as a CA teacher now, according to your poll, maximum of the teachers are CS teachers.
Yes.
So they know the coding. Okay.
Yes.
So my
Teachers.
fear or yes,
Huh.
my
Yeah.
fear or my concern here is the
Huh.
technicality which we face during execution of this. Now you explained us about ideally, then you explained
Yeah.
about Jupyter.
Yeah.
Now there are then Colab,
Yeah.
but we in our school use Spider.
Okay.
Now there are some, and I belong to such an institution where I'm not free to decide the rules, decide the editors. Okay.
Yes.
So now I have to go with Spider. Now there are
Yes.
many things I feel now. Now since many years I'm teaching Java, I'm equipped with all the editors. Okay.
Yes.
But now, when it comes to Python and Spider, there are many technicalities. Like when I'm working, I want to execute an NLTK program. I want to execute Matplotlib. I want to execute a CSV program.
Yeah.
So I face a lot of technical issues there where my program doesn't execute.
Yeah.
And I don't want to waste my time. I want some sessions like this where I can be trained on these. You know, as a computer teacher, first error, we learn from our errors.
Yes,
So
yes,
now,
that is true,
the
ma'am.
thing
Yeah.
is like, yes, we are at our age, we wrote programs in Notepad. We never had editors.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So my
So
suggestion,
we
ma'am,
have
for
learned from these. So I want I want such a session, or can you guide me where I would be able to find my solution?
Okay, your main solution, like a problem is using Spider because in your school you do not have that facility.
Yes.
Ma'am, I would give a small suggestion that if you have internet facility, at least for one demo computer or one computer where you can use online editors or maybe one Jupyter notebook, that you can take it. You can share the Jupyter notebook with the students for them to try it at home till you try to resolve the Spider notebook problems, ma'am. Because most of the cases where we are seeing that everywhere the reference books or reference Google websites that they're giving, they're only stressing upon Jupyter Notebook, Google Colab, and your IDLE environment.
Yeah.
Nowhere they are
Yeah.
giving the Jupyter notebook. So my advice is that at least one computer in your school, if you can arrange where you can have the Jupyter notebook, give a demo to the children, share that particular notebook to the students so that slowly they can try. And in the meantime,
Yes.
you can try to figure out, because Spider is not at all, what to say, very conveniently used by the teacher curriculum, especially in 11 and 12. Okay, so that is the thing, that is a suggestion that I would like to give you, ma'am.
Yes, because there was my concern is
Yeah.
I'll face lot of difficulties when I want to try to upload a CSV program, a computer
Yes, yes, yes.
convolution
Because
program.
that particular
I really feel
environment is
difficult
not
there.
compact. Many of the modules or many of the libraries that we are using, that even
Yeah.
I also faced, because initially I tried with a few things, try to change myself. So even our school had a problem of that projector I could not show. So I used to take my laptop. In my laptop, I loaded Anaconda. Like this, I have found out my own solutions, because all over India, there are many schools where they do not have proper labs also, ma'am.
Yes.
So we have to think
so
of those teachers.
so as
Yeah.
a suggestion,
So
I
you
should,
can try this small suggestion.
so
Yes, ma'am.
as a suggestion now I should take up Jupyter to find my solutions.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Jupyter notebook.
thank you so
Yeah.
much. That was
Welcome.
a thorough insight, and
Yeah.
this is what I was looking for. Thanks,
Yes,
thanks
ma'am.
so much.
Thank you. Yes,
Thanks so
Kishore
much.
sir, you have a doubt. Thank you, ma'am. Kishore sir, you have raised your hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
First of all, Smita, ma'am, thank you so much for the informative session.
Yeah.
And ma'am, I teach data science for grade 11 and 12 in my
Okay.
school. So in the CBSE syllabus curriculum in grade 11, they introduced R Studio, ma'am.
Yes,
And
ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yes, ma'am. So in grade 12 also R Studio is continued. And
Ah.
at the end of the book, they have
They
given
have a
some
project with Python they have given. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. So final project 1 and 2, it's all about Python only.
Yes,
So
yes.
using VS Code and Python. So
Yeah.
I am finding it difficult to teach Python again. I mean, because they have been learning RStudio. So
Yes,
can you
yes.
please suggest me, ma'am, the flow to
What we can do, sir,
explain?
I am also facing the same situation. I'm also taking data science. So we can
Okay,
have a
great.
separate talk, because this session is only dedicated for AI, and
Yes, ma'am.
1M1B is doing that. You can connect me through WhatsApp. I think we are there in the data science group.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I
Yes. So
posted
we
a
can connect
message.
personally and we can discuss about this matter, sir. Will that be okay?
Sure, ma'am.
Because other
Okay,
teachers will not be able to understand our problem. That is why.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
No problem.
Welcome,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Sir. Thank you. Yes, Amrita ma'am, you
Okay.
have a doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, are you going to have a session for level 2 of Python?
Coming September 27th, the organization will be organizing one more session where level 2 concepts will be handled, and you can discuss and you can see how to handle those concepts. As I told you, the matter remains the same, ma'am. Whether it is level 1 or level 2, divide your entire syllabus throughout the year and take it slowly, ma'am. Then there will be no issues at all. Follow the handbook and follow the examples that is given, and don't try to instill a kind of fear. And don't, again, I'm stressing, don't try to bring the IP book or the CS book to your AI classroom. That itself is totally confusing for the students and teachers. So reinforce that, okay, hum pura saal bhar karenge, 2 saal pura coding karenge. So, and I tell you one more thing, as Mehreen ma'am has already told, class 12, 50 marks practical is only for the capstone project. And if your students are finding it difficult to do any project with Python coding, don't try to tell them to do that. Let them go with a simple one. And even CBSE tells that an idea generation or a simple idea development using the design thinking methodology can also be considered as a capstone project, ma'am. So don't worry. One more session will be taken by 1M1B to empower you with the level 2. And still, if you have got any doubts, any clarifications, we can discuss in the WhatsApp group, ma'am. Is that fine?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yeah. Any other teacher, any other query? Yes, Shilpa, ma'am. You have raised your hand, you have a doubt, or you have forgotten to put your hand down, ma'am? Shilpa, ma'am. Marine, ma'am, any doubts or queries in the chat, because I'm not able to see the chat?
Hello, ma'am. I have a
Yes,
query.
yes, Najma, ma'am. Yes, you have a doubt?
Yes, ma'am. We in the syllabus they have given part A, part B. We
Yeah.
are focusing on part B Python. What about
Yeah.
part A? Already studied in 9th and they have it in 10th.
Yeah.
So what do we do
So
for
then in
the
that
11th?
case, ma'am, no, don't worry. It will be easy for them, for the children. They'll be happy doing only part B, that is level 2. Just 1 week of revision classes you do for covering level 1. So that because they would have finished their board exams and by the time they come to class 11, they would have just lost the touch of level 1. Just 1 week or 10 days, you just cover the revision part of level 1 and then directly you can switch over to level 2, ma'am. That is in our hands. You are preparing the lesson plan. It is in your hands. So make it as simple as possible and directly you can jump to level 2. That you can do, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
so much.
welcome, ma'am. Welcome. Yes, any other teacher, any doubt or any clarification you want regarding the syllabus or something? Mehreen, ma'am, any doubts in the chat? I can stop the share so that I can also see the chat.
Is there any certificate for this session, ma'am?
No, ma'am, this is not a certification session. It's just an awareness program where we are discussing all the syllabus points and everything. Okay.
Thank you so much. We can end the session now.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.